Welcome to the Advanced Java series. Here we are going to talk about Spring JDBC and Spring Hibernate. We will explain Spring JDBC DAO, explain how to implement Spring JDBC in an application. We will integrate Spring with Hibernate. We'll explain how to create applications using Spring Hibernate template, and we'll describe Spring JDBC transaction management. Let's start with JDBC and Spring Hibernate, or JDBC Data Access Object. This is used to build data access layer of enterprise application. It is a mechanism to connect to the database and execute SQL queries. The database related logic has to be placed in separate classes called DAO classes. Let's do a quick comparison. The difference between JDBC and Spring JDBC based on first, transaction management. JDBC doesn't support to enable and disable transactions declaratively, whereas Spring JDBC supports. Distributed transaction management, Spring JDBC has support for it. Annotation based transaction management, Spring JDBC has support. Resource allocating logic. In JDBC, the connection statement and prepared statement have to be allocated explicitly by the developer. Spring provides template object and it expects the database resource allocation logic. Resource releasing logic. In JDBC, developer explicitly writes the logic to release the database resources. Spring provides the JDBC template object. Exception handling. JDBC throws Java SQL exception. There won't be specific exceptions for specific problems. And for Spring JDBC, it provides fine-grained exception handling mechanism to deal with database. So here we see the DAO classes connecting to the Spring JDBC framework, which is an additional layer, which then connects to the JDBC API and finally talks to the database. What is the advantage of using Spring JDBC API? It provides the capability to establish the connection and interact with database. It simplifies the development of JDBC Hibernate, JP and JDO. It provides multiple templates to interact with database. JDBC template, Hibernate template, JDO template and JPA template. The terminologies of Spring JDBC API. When a connection is opened and closed when required in an application, the object utilization becomes difficult and the cost of implementation increases. In such cases, connection pooling is used. It is a mechanism of pre-creating a group of database connections and keeping them in cache memory for use and reuse. It provides high performance and efficient resource management. It is an interface that is an object-oriented representation of connection pooling. That's what the Java SQL data source does. It is a connection factory for Java application. It is an alternative for driver manager and provides database connections to the Java application. Its implementation classes are provided by the following connection pooling mechanisms: Apache Basic Data Source, Spring Driver Manager Data Source, and C3PO Combo Pool Data Source. The JDBC template is used to handle common logic. It is an abstraction of the JDBC technology. The methods provided by JDBC template are for insert, update and delete methods. The template provides update method. For find by, balance, find by all, row count available in JDBC, Spring templates provides query, query for int, query object, query for map, query for list. To handle batch updates, JDBC template has convenient methods. Here we see some JDBC template methods. The update for insert, update, delete, for DDL, for executing query by using prepared statement, for fetching records and fetching records using row mapper. Let's talk about Spring JDBC implementation in an application. To implement, we create a database and table in the database. We then create Java projects in Eclipse. We then create the Spring Bean class or the POJO. We then create a DAO. We then configure data source and Spring configuration XML file. We then create Spring Bean or Spring container either by XML Bean factory or application context. For implementing Spring JDBC in an application, we create database and table in database. The syntax to create database is create database name, and the syntax to create the table is create table name with the respective columns. Next step, we create a project in Eclipse. Then we consider a user class that has 3 member variables, ID, name and salary. We then create a DAO class where we create an object of JDBC template. We set it in the constructor. Then to save the user, to update the user and to delete the user, we actually write string queries and pass them to the JDBC template.update method. To configure data source and Spring Bean configuration XML file, the JDBC driver can be used to establish connectivity to the database during development of basic unit or integration testing. Spring has 2 data source classes, driver manager data source, which returns a new connection every time a connection is required, and single connection data source, which returns the same connection every time a connection is required. We then configure data source and Spring Bean via the XML file. So here you see the Bean ID configured to driver manager data source, the property driver class name configured to the driver, the URL configured to the URL of the database, the username and password. The ID JDBC template configures to the JDBC template class and the data source gets a reference name. Then we create a Bean ID for injecting the user DAO class, and finally we reference the JDBC template. The last step, create Spring container either by XML Bean Factory or application context. So here we use the application context, we pass the XML file reference, we get the user DAO class injected, we then save the user information and print the status. Let's look at a demo where we will implement the JDBC template using a combination of JDBC and Spring Hibernate. So we'll move to Eclipse. The first thing we'll do is we have to add the reference libraries. So we now know that JDBC template is a design pattern by Spring. It welcomes the JDBC ORM Hibernate also to come in and assists us from saving our time with writing a lot of config code. So the template design pattern is actually one of the creational GOF design pattern. The architecture and configuration is pre-written so we can focus on the business and persistence logic. So previously JDBC had lots of configs where we had to create the connection, etc. Spring now takes care of all of this and also connection pooling and exception management as well. So JDBC template helps with this and Spring takes care of the end-to-end JDBC config. So I have created a new project. Within that project, we have added commons.login reference library and also all of the Spring jars along with the JDBC jar to connector to SQL or MySQL database. You can add Oracle one as well, AspectJ and AspectJ Weaver, which we covered in the last session. So now let's open up the employee class. It has employee ID, name, age and password and simple setters and getters and also a toString override. That's there in the employee class and this is the object that we want to save into the database. We've also created a database in SQL with employee ID, name, age and password and that is ready. Now we have the mapper class which is actually creating an object of employee and it is mapping the ID, age, name and password of the employee to the database fields ID, age, name and password and it's returning the employee reference. Then we have the DAO class where we are defining the data source, the template object and the transaction manager object because we also want to learn transactions here and run this as a transaction. In the set data source, we are initializing the JDBC template. We have an add employee method which takes the employee object and inserts it using a parameterized query into the employee table. So we fire the update method, we give the query and the 4 parameters of ID, name, age and password and we return the count of the records that have been updated. We have another method that gets all the employees. It returns a list of employees. We say select star from employee and we simply pass the query, the SQL statement and the mapper class so that it maps the values that are there in our employee object to the database fields and we return the list employee. Here we are just giving a suppress warning message so that it allows a cast from the return of the query method to a list of type employee. Then we are getting all employees based on the age. So we pass the age, we write a parameterized query, select star from employee where age is equal to question mark. Again, we suppress the error that is returned and we return the list of employee. Then we have a multi-action method which takes the employee object. It simply prints performing multiple actions. It defines a transaction scope and a transaction status as well. We then write the query. The first thing we do is we insert into the employee a set of values, which again are passed using the update method of JDBC template, and we print the result saying how many records have been inserted. Then we fire another query in the same transaction scope to get us the employee which has maximum age. We then fire that statement and we print the object of type employee which is returned, which has the maximum age, and we commit the transaction. So if there is any error with either of these statements, the entire transaction will roll back, and that is what we are doing if there is an exception. These are the setters and getters for the platform transaction manager and the template object. We then come to the beans.xml. This is the standard header. Here we see we are configuring the JDBC driver and also configuring the driver manager data source. We give it an ID of data source. We connect to our database, which is called simply2. We provide the username password, which is root. We then define the transaction manager bean to be injected, which is of type data source transaction manager, and we give it a reference of our data source which is connected to the MySQL database. We then inject the object of the employee DAO class. We also give it the reference of the data source, and we give it the reference of the transaction manager object that is injected. So with this project structure, we are now ready to attempt to use JDBC template and connect to the database, create a new record, and attempt to see if it actually works for us. And you see the value here of actually using JDBC template, because JDBC template takes over the management of the connection, etc., rather than we going ahead and writing the code. So we'll go to the main class. Here we have created an object of application context, so we can load the beans.xml, and we are also getting the object injected using dependency injection of Spring, which is the DAO class object. We then creating a new employee object with an employee ID, name, age, password. We are calling the add employee method and passing the employee object and simply printing this is the list of records that have been added. And here you see one record has been added when we executed that, which is the output that we have got. Let us check in the database, and you can see the record actually got added into the database. We will now try to insert one more record and validate. So let's make it 104, and we'll change this to S, change this to TD, change the age as well to 20. Let's execute this once more, and we will check, and the second record has actually now got added, right? We did not save this, and hence you saw the same ID. So let me run it once more after saving and execute, and you see the 104 record that we added has now got updated in the database. Now let us retrieve all the employees using the second statement that we have, or the function that we have. So here I will uncomment this. So here we are saying get all employees for employee in the list, and simply print out the employee information. And there you see the employee records, 3 records that we inserted are successfully printed. Let's comment this. And we'll now call the method that we have that is performing multiple actions. It is also inserting a value in the database and also getting us the maximum age. Okay, so before that, let me just insert a record which has the maximum age. So we'll uncomment this and we will say 105 Y, and we'll change the value here, make it 50, save this, execute. Oops, I think I have not commented successfully. Oh yes, this is it. Save this, execute. One record added. So that's the record now with the maximum age of 50. We'll come down now and we'll execute the multiple statement method that we had written. And it's running in a transaction, so it says performing multiple actions, one record inserted, and it printed the employee details 50, which has the maximum age. Right, and it would have also updated the database and executed that value. So here you see the actual value of using the JDBC template and how it has actually helped us to retrieve relevant data from the database by outsourcing most of the job to the JDBC template framework.
If getting your learning started is half the battle, what if you could do that for free? Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
Let's move to integrating Spring with Hibernate. Spring Framework provides integration with Hibernate, toppling IBATIS and JPA, and the reasons to integrate Spring with Hibernate. In large applications, this integration makes the maintenance very easy. When integrated, caching and other performance tuning is handled automatically. Database can be changed easily without affecting the application code. And integrating Hibernate application with Springs avoids creating the hibernate.cfg.xml file. All information can be contained in application context XML file. Configuring application XML. We configure Session Factory using class annotation Session Factory bean. We define Hibernate template by passing Session Factory. And for the database transaction, we define Hibernate Transaction Manager using the Transaction Manager configure AOP. Hibernate template is a helper class that simplifies Hibernate's data access code. It automatically converts Hibernate exceptions into data access exceptions by following org.springframework.DAO exception hierarchy. The structure of Hibernate template class: public class Hibernate template extends Hibernate accessor, implements Hibernate operations. So we have multiple methods available like persist to save the object, save to persist given object and return the ID, save or update to persist or update given object ID, to update which updates the object ID, to delete the ID, to get the object, to load the object on the basis of given ID, and to return all persistent objects. Let's look at how to create applications using Spring Hibernate template. We create a database, we create Java project in Eclipse, we create user Java file, it is the persistence class, we create user DAO Java file, it is the DAO class that uses Hibernate template, we create application context, it contains information of data source Session Factory, and then we create test Java file, it calls methods of user DAO class. Here, this is how we create the database. We have already discussed how to create a project. We then create the user.java file and mark it with the entity and ID tag as an annotation. We then create the user DAO file where we create the Hibernate template instead of the JDBC template. And this is how we would persist the information using the persist method. Finally, we create the application context XML file. Then we create the Session Factory so that we can register the bean. So we are registering the template by providing the template reference to the employee DAO bean. And then lastly, we create the main where we load the XML file. We pass the bean ID to get the bean object and we persist the information. So let's start with a demo demonstrating the Spring Hibernate template. So we have already seen the Spring JDBC template. We will now see the Spring Hibernate template. And the benefit of using this would be that the Spring container will initialize the Hibernate container for us, and Spring will take care of all the things like creating, opening the connection and configuring the connection and setting up the data storage for us, etc. So let's get into Eclipse so that we can set up our demo. We'll start with understanding what are the jars to be referenced. First of all, we'll reference all of the Spring Framework jars. In addition, we'll reference common logging, the Hibernate jars, and the MySQL connector, which is the JDBC driver to connect to the MySQL database. Now, we'll start with the trainee class, which is going to play the role of the entity class or the DAO class to be saved. So we are going to mark it as entity @table annotation. So this remains the same from the previous demo. @ID, since this is a primary key and we want to auto generate the primary key as an identity column. So hence we have set generation type as auto. We have the trainee ID, trainee name, marks code, and contact number. We have the default constructor, the getters and the setters. The toString has been overridden, and we have the parameterized constructor. It does not take the ID since the ID is automatically getting generated. We then have the DAO class, where we are now defining the Hibernate template object instead of Spring template as we did in the previous demo. We have a getter and a setter that sets and returns that object. We have a add_trainee method that takes the trainee object. It creates the session by saying Hibernate template.open session. It begins a transaction. It saves the trainee object that is passed to it and returns the ID. We then commit the transaction and return the ID out of the function. We also have a function called getAllTrainees that returns a list of type trainee. Here we are defining a new array list specialized to type trainee. We are then saying Hibernate template.load all the values mapped to this entity will be loaded here from the database, and we will return that list back. Now let's set up the XML. So here we've just added one more namespace, springframework.org/schema/p for persistence. And of course, the rest of it remains the same. Next we see that we have added the driver manager, jdbc.datasource.driver manager data source, com.sql.jdbc driver, that's the driver class name. The URL is localhost and name of the database is test. Username is root, password is root. Next we create the session factory that initializes the Hibernate session bean. We provide the data source, name data source, the reference is this particular data source, that is the database connection. The property name is annotated class com.2.trainee. So that's the trainee class in the com.2 package, that is the annotated class to be initialized. Then we set the Hibernate properties. This is the SQL dialect to communicate with the database. Okay, initially we will set this as create since we want to create the table. Show SQL true, so it generates the SQL in the console. Then we are creating a bean with ID temp, setting it to Hibernate template and referencing the session factory that we have created here. Post that, we create an ID DAO, we connect it to and map it to the trainee DAO class since we need to create an instance of that as well, and we reference the Hibernate template out here. So that's all that is there inside the beans.xml file. Now we just need to go and set up the main program. So we'll go to the main.java. This line remains the case same. The application context is loading the beans.xml. Post that, we get the bean name called DAO. That's the same name that we have actually specified here. That maps to the trainee DAO class. We create a new trainee, provide some values. We call the add_trainee function and provide the method there to the DAO class. We then print all the trainees that are there in the database. So now you can see when we execute it, we create the table, we insert one value. So here you see the trainee value Vinay12 with the contact number actually gets returned with the select all. Now let's check in the database as well. Select star from trainee. Let's select the test database. Okay, and there you see this is the record with the ID automatically generated that we had actually inserted from the backend. So now here, if I need to add another record, let me make this 13. Let me change the value. We'll go to the beans class and change this from create to update and save this. Right, so there are two records now, trainee 1 and trainee ID 2, that are returned, and let's refresh this and you see the second record also has got added with the name Ajay. So this shows us how it is pretty easy to set up the JDBC template using the Hibernate template option and outsourcing all of the hard work to Spring. So Spring will take care of managing all of the connection. We actually did not create a separate CFG configuration file for Hibernate. It was the single beans.xml that actually did the job for us. Let's move to Spring JDBC transaction management section of the JDBC template integration. So here we'll start with Spring JDBC transaction management. Now Spring provides extensive support for transaction management. This helps developers to focus on business logic rather than worrying about integrity of data in case of systems failure. Spring provides an abstract layer on top of different transaction management APIs. It helps application developers to focus on the business problem without having to know much about the underlying transaction management APIs. The concept of transactions can be described using the following 4 key properties known as ACID: atomicity, that requires each transaction to be all or nothing. If one part of the transaction fails, then the entire transaction fails if the database is left in a unchanged state. Consistency properly ensures that every transaction will bring the database from one valid state to another. Isolation ensures the concurrent execution of transactions result in a system state that would be obtained if transactions were executed serially, that is, one after the other. Durability property ensures that once a transaction has been committed, it will remain so even in the event of power loss, crashes, or errors. Platform Transaction Manager is a general interface of all Spring transaction managers. Spring has several built-in implementations of the interface that can be used with different transaction management APIs like Data Source Transaction Manager, Hibernate Transaction Manager, and JPA Transactional Manager. Methods of Platform Transaction Manager. We first have the transaction status. This method returns a currently active transaction or creates a one according to specified propagation behavior. We have commit that commits the transaction and rollback that rollbacks the transaction, which we saw as part of the demo. Here we have the transaction definition, which is the core interface of the transaction support in Spring, and it is defined as follows. We have get propagation behavior method, which Spring offers all of the transaction properties and propagation offered by EJB CMT. Get isolation level, that returns the degree to which the transaction is isolated from work of other transactions. Get name, which returns the name of the transaction. Get timeout, that returns the time in seconds which the transaction must complete. And is read only. This method queries whether the transaction is read-only. Transaction Status Interface provides a simple way for transactional code to control transaction execution and query transaction status. We have the HaveSamePoint method that returns whether this transaction internally carries a save point, is completed. The method returns whether the transaction is completed, whether it is already committed or rolled back. Is new transaction. The method returns true in case the present transaction is new. Rollback only. The method returns whether the transaction has been marked as rollback only. Set rollback only. The method sets the transaction as rollback only. Spring supports 2 types of transaction management: programmatic and declarative. In programmatic, it manages transaction with help of programming. It uses Programming Transaction Manager directly to implement the programmatic approach, to implement transactions, and to create instance of transaction definition with appropriate transaction attributes. Once the transaction definition is created, you can start your transactions by calling getTransaction method, which returns an instance of transaction status. The transaction status object helps in tracking the current status of the transaction, and Programmatic Transaction Management uses the commit method of Platform Transaction Manager to commit the transaction. Then we have the Declarative Transaction Management, which separates transaction management from the business code. It allows you to manage the transaction with the help of configuration instead of hard coding it in your source. It uses annotations or XML based configurations to manage the transactions, and it uses txadvice tag, and this creates a transaction handling advice and defines a point cut that matches all methods needed for the transaction at the same time. The key takeaways from this session have been that Spring JDBC is used to build data access layer of enterprise application. It is a mechanism to connect to the database and execute SQL queries. The database related logic has to be placed in separate classes called DAO classes. Connection pooling is a mechanism of pre-creating a group of database connections and keeping them in cache memory for use and reuse. It provides high performance and efficient resource management, and Spring supports two types of transaction management, programmatic and declarative. Thanks for watching this session. We'll see you in the next session.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simply Learn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.